All right, we're gonna see if this works because it's really annoying if it doesn't. So in this episode, we're gonna start the I don't know if you want to call it framework or the idea of a graphic novel. I've been wanting to write a graphic novel for a very long time. I actually have one started already. That's not what we're gonna dive into for this video series, which is gonna be called "Make a Graphic Novel with Me." I feel like this might help me hold. It might help hold me accountable. Wow, I might be able to hold myself accountable, and actually diving into this project and um, seeing how I can, I don't know, see progression and dive into this part of the industry that I've never been in. I've kind of always been sort of interested in comics, not to the point where like I'm buying comic books or anything like that like every day, but I do have a select few that I enjoy and I like. And I also had a coworker who was all about comics, and he is amazing and is currently doing big things in the comics world, and I'm just so proud of him. And so I've been wanting to dive into graphic novels for a long time. Um, like I said, I do have an idea for one. Actually, I have two ideas. One, we're going to actually, this is what the series is going to be about. And then another one that I'm actually going to hold close to the chest because I've been talking about it with my agent and she knows about it. And I've been working on it slowly. And so I feel like if I can kind of work on a graphic novel with y'all, put out polls, put out ideas, see how to grow a story with input from y'all. We'll see how this goes. Um, I really like the idea of doing something like that. Just having, like, I don't know, my own kind of critique group, but very tailored to to a specific story. Um, and so that's kind of how I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it like y'all are my critique group. You're my critique partners in this endeavor of creating this book, I think. Um, or, I mean, if you don't want to participate, you don't have to. There's no shame. I mean, no, I don't. It doesn't matter, I guess. But y'all can at least see the progress that I make, or just see like how we get on with this character. So here you can see that I'm drawing in my sketchbook. I'm so sorry about the angle. I really should have zoomed out a little more, but for some reason I thought that this was a good angle. But this is where it started. I started drawing this character. I wanted to do like an action pose. Um, Not super super actiony like superhero per se, but I just wanted to have a main character standing in the middle of the page with some type of setting, not super detailed, but just like enough for you to know like what's kind of going on. And so I started thinking about Buffy because that's one of my favorite shows when I was younger and probably still is. And I started, drawing the tool, spoiler alert, at the end of the series that I think they call it a scythe. I'm not exactly sure, but she had this like slice and dice tool that they found that like could kill a vampire with like one swing type of thing. Though I don't really know like why it was so important. I mean, I knew then, but it's been a long time since I've watched the show. So I used to actually watch the show while I worked out because it was just something to put on, and like I knew what my workout routine was, so I didn't need to like continue to watch my workout videos. So I was just working out while watching Buffy, like old episodes of Buffy and Angel. Um so anyways, so yeah, so I pulled from that. I liked the little like I liked this tool, and also I guess that could also be like, well, where did she get it from? Maybe we would do like a chapter or like a backstory of this tool that she has. Um I started thinking like, oh, should it be zombies or should it be vampires? And then I was like, you know what? We have enough zombie stuff. We did go through a big phase of vampires a while ago. I think they're kind of trickling out. So maybe like coming back with vampires with like a actual cool idea, not just like vampires in love. Kind of situation. So I was like, okay, like maybe she's a vampire slayer. But how can we not make this like just Buffy? You know what I mean? Like I think when I was thinking about it, like I really loved the universe of Buffy. And when Buffy ended, I really, really wanted a spin-off of like Kendra, or of the vampire Spike killed that was Principal Wood's mother. I would have loved a spin-off for her, set in like I don't know, the grungy, what year was that? Like the 70s? No, 80s? I think it was the 80s. Like the grungy punk period. I don't even know if that's the right period. I'm not sure. But sometime in that time setting would have been cool, or honestly any other new Slayer would have been cooler than just kind of revisiting Buffy. And I know we're going off on a little tangent here, but I honestly don't think that that's the answer. That's not the answer, is to like take Velma or take Buffy or take, I think, any character and just change their skin tone. You know, I feel like why can't we just have the universe and then put a new character in that universe? You know what I mean? Like I would prefer that to just like giving me a black Buffy. I don't need a black Buffy. I have Buffy. I want a Kendra. I want Principal Wood's mom. I can't remember what her name is. Like those are both black slayers. Like why are we not looking into their backgrounds? I would have really loved to see Principal Wood's his mom, who was like a badass slayer with that's where Spike got his jacket from. Well, I mean, he had to kill her to get it, but that's where he got his jacket from. Like she had a long black leather trench coat. Like she was badass. Like, so I'm like, why are we not diving into those stories? Why are we just redoing Buffy? I don't need to see another Buffy the Vampire Slayer series with the same character, probably the same personality, just a black actress playing her. Like, I don't need that. I need a deep dive into Kendra, a deep dive into Principal Woods' mom, or just a whole new character would be great. I understand that the title is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I still think you can connect it without having to stay Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, I don't know. I would have taken a Faith spinoff. Like, come on. Anyways, sorry. I am very passionate about this subject of just like taking a character and just like why? Like why can't we just have something new and dive into that instead of just like taking the original character and changing them? Okay, so I'm back. It was recording. I just had to do some technical things to get it to work. But anyways, so my idea is it's like Buffy meets roller derby. And I think I was also a little bit influenced by, there's this, this animated series. I can't remember what it's called, but I think the girls are on roller skates. And I think that's as much as I know about it. And they fight things. I think there might be superheroes. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't do too much of a deep dive, or I watched it, wanted to back it, went to go back it, and now I don't really remember. I don't really remember what it was about. It just looked really cool. And I think I was also kind of influenced by that because they were on roller skates, I believe. So it's called Roller Slayer, and I will show a little mock-up. Actually, y'all will see the poster or the cover of it once we get to that point. I think this video is just going to be kind of an intro and kind of let y'all know like what it's about, and just the process of kind of like building this character, building this world, and seeing where we go and how to make a graphic novel, because y'all are going to learn with me, I guess, because I've never done this much sequential art before. I mean, I've done like, a bunch of books, and you make pretty much storyboards, I guess, for every scene. You can have multiple, or, whatever, however many amount you need to like tell the story within the 32 pages that you have. Excuse me. But I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be different. I figured this might be a good series to start just because it's something new. It's something I've never done before, really. I mean, I did take a comic book class, and I learned a little bit, and I felt like I did okay. I think I got like a B in the class. um, but I'm really excited about this character. I think we could probably I like the style that I'm kind of developing using these sketchbooks, and y'all are also looking at my sketchbook series. And I'm really digging the style that I've been kind of cultivating from from doing all of this work in these sketchbooks. So I'm just kind of, I don't know, trying to be okay with how I'm proceeding and not feeling like it needs to look this certain way or that certain way when I look at like comics and stuff and like other graphic novels, because like I don't think I would enjoy it if it did look those ways, like I look at like Jamie Green, and her artwork is so amazing, especially the stuff she's been doing for graphic novels. And but if I tried to emulate her style, I feel like I just wouldn't enjoy the process because it's not me. It's not how it is coming out of me, right? Like that's how she works. That's not how I work. Same thing with my old coworker, like Alan Kaplan. He is amazing, and like I am always in awe whenever I see his stuff on Instagram, and I'm just like, man, this guy is just so good. And so like when I look at my work and I'm just like, okay, how can I up my skills but not like not copy what they're doing, right? Like I don't want to copy what Alan's doing. I don't want to copy what Jamie's doing because that's not me. And at the end of the day, I don't think I would be happy doing that because that's not my voice. That's not how I express the stories that I want to tell. I want it to be from me with maybe some influence a little bit, like maybe like the 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 shading or the cross hatching that they use, or maybe even like an influence in color, maybe. But when it comes to like the design and the drawing, like that should just all be me for the most part. Maybe, like I said, a little bit of influence, but it shouldn't look just like Alan's, or it shouldn't look just like Jamie's. It should just look like mine, right? So I think while we build this universe and build on this idea, I think the one silly thing might be like she's on roller skates, right? Like, and how is she going to just like be in a world where she's just consistently on roller skates? So I figured like they're snap-on roller skates. So like her shoes are can be everyday shoes, but then she snaps on the roller skates when she needs to like, activate kind of thing, like activate power, snap on the roller skates. So she does have a backpack. She has like a little side satchel that's got like other things in there. She's got like a stake that's attached to the bottom, like her calf area. I don't know how she travels with this like this big ass like tool thing. I don't know if it's like something that transforms from something small to something big. Because like how do you just carry this around and not get noticed, right? Unless the world like in the world they know that there are vampires. Or she could be like Michonne, where Michonne wears hers on her back, like she wears her sword on her back. It's a little bit of a big weapon, so I don't know if that makes sense for her to wear it on her back, but she could, I guess. We could figure that out somehow. Um and then let's see. Her weapon is also like a two-piece thing. So the handle at the bottom come like you have to unlock it, untwist it, and pull out like another stake. There's a long stake in there. So if she ever needs like something quick or whatever, or can't like, or wants to switch it up, maybe she's like tired of slicing, so maybe she just wants to stab. she can just unlock it, pull it out, and stab a vampire, right? So, uh, so yeah, like these are the things that you have to think about when you're building a character and building a story. You have to think about all the little details of like their outfit. Like I when I initially did this sketch and then I started coloring it, I think I went too quickly into like let's color it. I didn't plan enough, and I think that's going to be I think in this video we'll see a little bit of that, like where I stop and then I come back to it and then I start actually really diving into the sketch and figuring out, what does her outfit actually look like? What is she actually wearing? Like, what are the things that she's carrying on her person day to day to be this like roller slayer? And I think the other thing is like, if we're following kind of the Buffy format, sorry, I'm opening my AirPods. That means like during the day, she's probably like, I don't know, a normal teenager um, who lives in this like demon filled world at night, right? Like, and even during the day, demons were still active, like not all of them needed to only be active at night like vampires, which I thought was very interesting that like Buffy didn't just involve vampires, like it was also other demons and other things. And I guess that makes sense because then it would just get kind of boring if it was just vampires 24/7. So I think that's something else that we should think about is like what kind of bad guys, what kind of big bads are there going to be in this story aside from vampires. And I think I was starting to say that I was thinking that it was going to be like more of a zombie like apocalypse story, but then I started like pushing back on that idea because we'd have The Walking Dead, we have Fear the Walking Dead, and then we have the new one with Michonne and Rick, and then we have The Last of Us. So I kind of felt like I think zombies are a little like saturated right now. Maybe not. I don't know. I just feel like it might be because I used to watch The Walking Dead, but it was giving me way too much anxiety for the characters. And so I stopped watching it. My wife and I, we were watching it together and I was just like, you know what? I can't watch this show anymore. It's too high anxiety for me. So we stopped watching it. And then I started watching The Last of Us, which I feel like is a little bit is pretty much the same. It's the same kind of idea. I think we're following less characters, which is fine. I prefer that actually. I prefer to follow less characters than to have like 3 characters over here, 4 characters over there, 5 characters over here, 6 characters over there. Which is kind of funny because I love Foundation and Foundation is kind of that way. But I don't know. I guess because like they're not in like constant danger in Foundation, it's not so high anxiety, whereas in The Walking Dead, like they were constantly in danger because of the zombies just being everywhere. So it was just too many people to care about and worry about, right? Like I was just like, I can't do this. My favorite characters keep dying. So so anyways, so I think that's something to think about, like is a topic too saturated? And I know that vampires is kind of like I feel like vampires are probably an evergreen. Like as long as you do it really well, I think people will come. You know what I mean? Same thing with zombies. I think if you do it really well, people will come. I feel like those are topics that people are interested in, and they want to see. Especially since I think both were both video games, or was The Walking Dead? The Walking Dead was a video game, or was it a graphic novel? I think it might have been a graphic novel or something, or a comic book. I believe. Correct me in the comments if you know the answer to that. Whereas I believe The Last of Us was a video game. So I'm kind of just like pulling from like my love for Buffy and then adding this kind of funky idea of like roller skates into the mix. So like maybe during the day she's part of like a roller skating team, like a roller derby type of thing. And then at night she has like her she has her games and stuff, but then she also fights vampires because she's like uber strong and all of that. And then I guess the question is like what is her origin story? Like that's something that we would need to dive into. Like with Buffy, it 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 wasn't that hard to kind of, I guess, understand her origin, but we really didn't dive too much into the Slayer, I think, until really late in the series, I think. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really watch the first and second season too much because I didn't really like them, because a lot of it was like Buffy Angel drama, and I was just like, I don't like Angel like that for for us to be this deep in this relationship. So I never really watched the first and second season. I watched them, but they're not the seasons I go back to. I start, if I ever need to like rewatch Buffy, I watch third season and on, because Faith comes in, and I had the biggest crush on Faith for the longest time. Sucked when she went bad, but it was also kind of fun that she went bad, because I think at that time, like, always having like the the good side always be good, you know what I mean, and never kind of teeter with that bad good type of thing. Um, I don't know. That was just kind of, it was kind of fun to watch that character, but it also led to her kind of going into a really big downfall, and that was kind of sad. Like I didn't like that her character had to like hit rock bottom so hard. Um, and I feel like Buffy never really had that. I think like when her mom, spoiler alert, when her mom died, yeah, I feel like that was definitely a major shift in, you know, in her world, because I don't think she's lost people who have been kind of close, but not to that extent, and especially since it was something that was unexpected and something that she could not fix or find a solution to. Like it was a natural death. Like she didn't, it wasn't supernatural. No one cast a spell. I think her mom had like an aneurysm or something. And I think that was just very hard for her to cope with. Um, Not really sure how we got on that topic. But anyways, yeah, oh, downfalls and like but then I guess you could also say like moving forward onto like after that, after her mom passing and going into like um going into what I guess like when she died. Spoiler alert, Buffy dies again. And then she comes back. I guess she kind of had like a really weird like patch of emotions and feelings there. And I mean, I guess that would make sense. Like, you died, you thought you were in some sort of like heaven, some type of peaceful place, and then you get ripped out of there to come back here. And, you know, she seemed like she was at peace with it. And then, you know, her fam was like, nah, we need you. So, so that kind of sucks, that happened. But, I mean, you know, I can't really think of anything else that like um, that was as bad as like Faith's kind of downturn, hitting rock bottom type of thing, in comparison to Buffy. I can't really think she didn't really do. I mean, she did have like a little like kind of like bad girl moment, but you know she's the hero of the show, so she can't stay in that moment, you know. Um, but anyways, so yeah, so thinking of Buffy, like that's kind of where I came up with this character. Um, yeah, so now we just have to figure out like some more stuff about her. Like, does she have a family? Like, what is her friend dynamics? Uh, who who is she? You know, and I know she's a person of color. I know that much. She seems very like you know her own person. Like she expresses herself through the things that she wears and her hair and you know her piercings. How old is she? I'm assuming she's probably in high school. Um, she looks like she's probably in high school, getting ready to go to college. So I'm not really sure like where this book would sit on the shelf. Those are also things you should think about. Like where is your book going to sit on the shelf? If your character is in high school, this will probably be geared towards older kids. Um, I think the sweet spot is probably about middle school for most graphic novels that I've noticed. Most of them are in middle school. I'm I don't I have not read any yet where they're in high school. I don't think, or they're like just about to go to high school. Probably. I know that there's got to be some where they're in high school, but I think like the sweet spot is middle school. So I guess I don't know if it makes sense for her to be a vampire demon slayer in middle school. I think it makes perfect sense for high school, but middle school I don't know. So we're gonna keep her in high school. Um, how many friends does she have? When I was in high school, I had a handful of friends, but I would say that my best friends, I had two really good best friends in high school. Like I would hang out with them every weekend, sometimes after school. Like we would just do random shit together. So she's probably gonna have two best friends, which I again Buffy. She had Willow and Xander, and then obviously that group is gonna like get bigger. And then she had Giles, who was kind of like her mentor. What were they called? Her watcher. Um, so I think we might do something with that, which seems really interesting. Um, for her to have this kind of like knowledge bank. It was almost like I don't even know what he would be considered. I guess you could kind of think no, Willow is kind of like Hermione. Like she's the smart one who does all the research and like just knows things that you wouldn't expect them to know. So I guess we're gonna have somebody like that. So we're gonna have like maybe, and then we're gonna have like the goofy one. So this is actually kind of reminding me of another book that I started. That's a graphic novel, but I haven't. I It's on the back burner right now. I have a lot of projects that are like swirling around in my head and that I want to pursue. But I feel like this would be fun for a video series, so that's why we're going with Roller Slayer. Um, so yeah, so I guess we need a character like Willow. We need a character like Xander. I think it would be interesting to have some type of like older character who has the knowledge but doesn't know everything, like and how that works. Maybe they work at like a well, later on in the series of Buffy, Giles, I was gonna call him Giles. Wow, Giles worked at a like magic store where like he kept all of the books and all of that, which kind of was a good like um segue for him, I think, because originally he was the librarian at their high school, um, and I think that worked. But obviously, when they leave high school, what are you gonna do? You can't just like. I think for a while he was just at his apartment, and they would just go to his apartment, and then finally he was like, "I'm gonna open a magic shop or like some type of like, you know, trinket shop that has to deal with like all the stuff that we deal with." Um, so I think that might be interesting. Like maybe we just jump. Maybe we just start from the jump, and they own some type of like um, magic related store. I think that might be interesting instead of it being like a librarian that works at the school, which I guess if we want to keep it in the school realm, we could do that. But I feel like that also might be too Buffy, like too on the nose for Buffy. But then how else do we like have this character in the story? Like how else would we have this, knowledgeable character, right? I don't know. I don't know. And it also makes sense that they would meet in the library because like there's computers, there's books, you know, which I also thought was really weird that he kept those books at the library. Like, does the school not do like checks and stuff and like inventory? Anyways, so I think we can go two ways. We can have her mentor person, her watcher. What would we call them? Her seeker, her. It can't be watcher because that was what Giles was in Buffy. So we would have to find another name for this character. And I think it would be interesting if it is a woman and not a man. Not that it couldn't be a man, but I feel like a woman makes more sense for me anyways, just for me. So maybe in the next couple of videos we'll start doing some character designs for these characters, and then maybe I'll do a brainstorming. And one of the apps that I really like to use when I'm brainstorming is not sponsored, by the way, hashtag not sponsored, is Milanote. I know that would have been a great a great segue into if I was sponsored by them, but I'm not. But I do like using that app to kind of like suss out ideas and to brainstorm things. So maybe I will dive into Milanote, or maybe I could reach out to them and say, "Hey, I'm about to do a video that uses your app. You want to sponsor me?" I would take 2 free years of Milanote would be great. I'd take that. Maybe actually no, 5 free years, because y'all, I mean, it's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. um, so what was I saying? I don't know. What was I saying? Something about, oh right. So maybe that's what we'll do in the next couple of episodes. We'll continue working on the cover, because I do a more detailed drawing, but I don't think we're gonna show it in this video because we're already about an hour into just talking about like designing and coming up with ideas. So I think we're just gonna I think we're gonna finish the cover in the next video. Maybe do color, or I'll just show you the line work. I think I'm gonna post on my Instagram some a font poll, because I have two that I like, but I'm okay with going with either. I kind of like the bolder font, but I also like the the less bolder font, if that's how you say it. And then we'll also do some character designs for the two characters that we need for her friends. We need a mentor character who kind of knows about this world and, the governing world of being a Slayer, and what that means for her as, kind of like the, I don't know if we're going to have the same kind of rules where it's like there's only one Slayer per let's say session, quote unquote. So like if you don't know about Buffy, like the way that you get another Slayer is if the current Slayer dies. And spoiler alert, Buffy died twice throughout the season. I don't know if she's died since, like in the comic books, because I know the comic books kind of continued on after the show ended. But I know that that Buffy, she died twice. I think she died like in the first or second season, and that's how we got Faith. Actually, no, sorry, that's how we got Kendra. Shit, wait, hold on. Shit, did she die 3 times? Wait, hold on. I'm thinking about it because I'm like, okay, how did we get Kendra? How did we get Faith? And then she died a third time. Or maybe it didn't count, like maybe because she died. But then why would it not count? Or maybe because she like, shit, how did she die the second time? How did we get Kendra? We got Kendra because Buffy died for like 2 seconds. But then she was revived and Kendra was activated. Activated. And then Kendra died. Oh, there we go. That's how. Okay, got it. There we go. Okay, sorry. I had to work through it because I was like, how did this happen? So Buffy died, I think either the first or second season. We got Kendra. Then Kendra died sometime during the second season, I think. And then we got Faith during the third season. And then I think, I don't know if Buffy dies again. I think the fifth or sixth season. And it could be the sixth season. It was the season before the last season. So I think it's the sixth season because I think there were 7 seasons of Buffy. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Buffy died again. And I don't know. I don't think there was another Slayer for that. I think Faith would have had to have died, right? For there to be another Slayer. I'm not really sure how that works. How that worked since because she still had her powers. It's not like her powers like left because she died and then came back. Um so I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it, I guess, but I don't. Somebody tell me how come if there was another Slayer after Buffy came back, like after Buffy died the second time, because I can't recall there being another Slayer unless I'm just blanking on it, and there was, and I'm just not sure who that was exactly. Because I know in the last season they pretty much gave the Slayer power to everybody, like every potential Slayer who was going to be a Slayer, they were all embodied with like having the Slayer ability. So I can't like my brain is merging with all of that. So like the only person that keeps popping in my head is Kennedy, and I'm like, no, Kennedy was part of the girls that were potential Slayers, and she didn't get her power until like the last season, I believe. So I can't, like there's no other Slayer that's popping up in my head. So please correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, I went on a little tangent there about like who became a Slayer when Buffy died again, the second time. But I can't. I don't know. I can't recall. Um, or I just did not pay attention during that season. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah. So back to the graphic novel. Do you see what I'm drawing here? She's in a whole black like cat suit. Like why would I draw that? And so I think that's what was throwing me off. Like I didn't love her pose. I mean, granted, when I redo the drawing, her pose is pretty much the same, but I didn't love how thick her leg was looking, and I didn't love the outfit. I didn't know why she had a cape. The cape seemed cool at the time, but I'm like, she's a suit. Like, why would she have a cape? So I just kind of revamp what I started. Um, and you'll see that coming up in the next couple of seconds. I go back to it, I open to that page, and I start just kind of revamping that sketch because I had a whole conversation with my wife about it and why like I was just like not happy with it, and it was just not moving in the direction I wanted it to be. So, when you're not happy with something, like it's okay to stop and reevaluate and start over. Like I don't think it's worth continuing to keep like trudging at it if you are feeling that it's just not working. Like don't waste time in trying to push yourself through this thing that isn't feeling right to you. So just stop and reevaluate. And that's what I did. And now we're working on a graphic novel called Roller Slayer, and I'm so happy that I did that I stopped, reevaluated, and started over. So yeah. So for the next video, I will show you um, the updated drawing. I actually do a trace, and then I take that trace. I took a picture of it, put it on my iPad, and worked in fresco. So we will talk about that next time. I'm trying to see where I'm at. Oh, what time was? Actually, we have about 10 more minutes. So I don't know. I don't think I did much talking while I was drawing. I think I was just mostly focused on what I wanted to do here. Like you can see that I'm kind of fixing what wasn't working for me originally. And I'm really happy with what I came up with. Like it feels like my voice. It feels like a character I would make. Like it doesn't feel like I'm trying to be something else. And that's one thing that I'm really happy about. And one thing like working in these sketchbooks has really like taught me is just like, listen to your voice. And, if you don't get it the first time, then, you know, take a break and then come back at it later. Um, but yeah. So I don't have a name for this character yet. I don't know what her name is. I want to say it'll eventually come to me, I guess, but I don't know. But I love the fact that I have that through just talking to y'all through this, that we've kind of set up like um what the next couple of what the roadmap is going to kind of look like, and what the next couple of steps are going to be. So in the next video, maybe I'll have more for you when when I show you like the more um, finished sketch of what I came up with, and maybe I'll have a name for her then. I don't know. I don't know what her name's gonna be. I don't know how you top Buffy. I call her Duffy. No. Maybe Tiffany. Maybe they call her Tiffy. Tiffy the Vampire Slayer. Tiffy. Or maybe they call her Tiff. I don't know. I don't know if I like Tiff. Tiffany? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to it. We'll figure it out. Um, but yeah, I'm excited about this. I hope y'all are excited. I know I talked a lot about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but honestly, it was a big influence, and which is weird because I really just started drawing this one night, and I don't I don't know how it became such a big influence, but I think because I started thinking about the character, I started thinking about the world. I think that's why Buffy is becoming a big influence for this story, because it, it I've always wanted another Buffy related show. And so if I'm not going to get one from, the people who created Buffy, then I'm going to make my own world that has to do with slaying and vampire killing and demons and all of that. So that's what we're going to do. So like I said before, stay tuned. Our next video, we're going to do more of this cover design, do more of this character development. Depending on how long it takes for me to do the line work and like looking for text and font and stuff for the cover, I may just only have that as the next video, and then after that we will do some character designs for her two best friends. Again, we're looking for like a Willow and a Xander character. I'm assuming they're probably that one of them might be white and maybe the other one might be maybe Asian, maybe Filipino. One of my best friends is Filipino, so I would love to. I try to incorporate that in some of the books that I do. Like I try to incorporate my best friends in there. I mean, my best friends, they're one was black and the other one was Filipino. So our friend group was pretty diverse. But I mean, maybe she has, two black friends, or she has a black friend and maybe the Xander character is a black guy, or he could be Filipino, or he could be like, was it Southeast Asian? You know what I mean? Like something like that. I'm not sure. We'll see. That's why we do character designs. But this is also weird because like usually I don't just kind of dive into like a character like this. I usually do more sketching and more like ideation. This was kind of just on a whim. I just felt like drawing a character and this is what came out. So I feel like this has been a very interesting process, and how it has just kind of snowballed into this like, let's build this world, let's figure out this character's life, and let's make it into a series, because why not? Maybe if we get if we get like a really good like solid pitch idea, like I could pitch it to my agent and see what she says, and see if it's something that's publishers are looking for. I don't know, but I'm definitely, I don't know, I'm definitely into it. Let me see, we've got like 7 or 6 more minutes on this video, And do I think it's a little silly that she's on roller skates? A little bit, but I'm here for it. And I also feel like she's pretty unique. Like I don't think there's too many characters like her. Granted, I haven't read every book, so I really don't know. Maybe there is. I don't think any idea is necessarily unique. I'm sure that there have been. I think there was what there was a book that came out. I think she was like a soldier slayer or something like that. But I don't want to set my character in that time period. That's just not something I'm interested in. Not right now. I guess we could use like I don't know. The using AI to like build stories is so controversial. I don't even know what I'm doing right there with my hand. Oh no, I was trying to. I think I was trying to like pose or something. I don't know. It's so controversial, but I honestly I use AI here and there for stuff. I don't use it to create artwork or anything like that. That doesn't make sense to me to use AI to create artwork. I have, I did play around with. I don't even remember which system it was, but I did play around with it a little bit. Um, when like everything first started coming out about the programs of like these AI like being able to create artwork, and I think I made like a cat a cat logo. That was about it, and I didn't even use it for anything. I just wanted to see like what it would do. Um, but I don't know. I think using AI is such a tricky thing because like you can use it to kind of help you with like a topic. Like let's say that you have this idea for something and you just need like help getting started. Like if you can make prompts to kind of help you um, figuring out characters and things like that, like I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that, but I don't think AI should be writing your story. I don't think AI should be um, doing all of that heavy lifting. I think you as the writer, you as the creator should be doing that, not, you know, the system of AI. Um, Also, like, I mean, there's writing prompts, like those cards. I keep seeing these advertisements for these, like, writing cards. Like, it's kind of the same idea, but it's mostly just a way of, like, being able to brainstorm. And that's exactly what I just did with y'all. Like, that's how I got on the idea of, like, oh, she needs, you know, two best friends. We're kind of going off of, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but we're not, it's not the same universe by any means, but I definitely want to have that kind of, like, I don't know, feel because I loved Buffy. I thought it was such a good show. I didn't like Buffy from the at the beginning. It wasn't until I think about the fourth season came around. It's whatever season Dawn came in, and I remember being like, "Wait, where did she? What? How did she have this sister? Where did this sister come from?" I remember like, and that kind of intrigued me, and that's when I started watching the show. So yeah, I was a little late to the game, but I remember watching the third season because of Faith, and then when Faith left, I think the middle of no, she left at the end of the third season, but she came back during the fourth season. That's when her and Buffy switched bodies. That was a good episode. Um, I I just I don't know. I just didn't get into it, and then I didn't really love her and Riley. I didn't really like that character, nor did I like their relationship. So I don't know. I wasn't about it until Dawn came in the situation, and then I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let's watch this. Um, but anyways, it looks like the video is coming to an end, and we have about 2 minutes left, about a minute left, and I'm so happy that like if you stayed to this long, that y'all are coming with me on this journey, writing this graphic novel, drawing, coming up with these characters, figuring out what this world, what this universe is going to be. I'm super excited about it because I've never drawn or done anything like this on this scope or this scale. So this is going to be new for all of us. I think I'm only going to drop these graphic novel videos maybe once a week. I usually do 2 videos a week. So I think we're just going to do the graphic novels like maybe once a week, just to kind of, spread it out and not just be like graphic novel, type of thing. I don't want y'all to get bored. And I also don't want to get bored. I don't want to get too like, what's the word? I don't want to get too, what am I trying to say? It's kind of like, I don't want to get too oversaturated. I don't want to bog myself down with like all like just graphic novel. I also want to like do other things on here. But yeah, so I think that is what we're going to do moving forward. We're probably just going to do graphic novels on Friday upload, I think. And then I think I also post on Sundays. So, and then Sundays will be, sketchbooks, tools, things like that, everything else. And maybe I might do like 2 graphic novel videos a week, depending on like how much progress I've been doing on it. If it does slow down, just know that like it's probably just because I'm in a busy period with like picture books. And that's usually why like things tend to slow down for me when I'm working, is just because, it's final art season for me, and I just have to focus on that for, a couple of months or a couple of weeks and get that out to my publishers. So anyways, thanks so much for joining me for this episode. I know it was a long one. I know it was a lot of talking, a lot of rambling, a lot of talking about Buffy, but oh wait, are we still recording? I don't even know. I think so. I haven't pressed stop, but the time is not. Okay. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyways, thank you so much for joining. I will see y'all next time. Hopefully we'll have some really cool character designs to show you next time. Or actually, we'll be finishing the cover next time. And then after that one, we will do some character designs. Yeah. And maybe you'll see me do the character designs live. Not live, like, but, or maybe we could. Maybe I can leave one character and maybe I'll just have like a live, do a YouTube live thing, and we could just kind of hash out this character. Maybe I'll leave, I'm just going to call them Willow and Xander for right now, but maybe we'll leave Willow, or maybe Xander, one of them to do for the next video. Not the next video, the video after next. So I'll probably hash out our main character. Don't know her name yet. We'll just call her Tiffany for now. And then I will do either Willow or Xander, and then I will leave one of them to then do a YouTube live. We'll see how that goes. All right, cool. All right, I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.